Hello, everybody, and welcome to another scene in San Diego. Right now, Caroline feels like she needs to go talk to Question the Stars because, well, a certain person told her to go see them about the questions she had. She is currently approaching the Cub housing, believing that's where he'll be. Uh, she has a look on her face like she's worried because she's worried about him withholding information from what was told, but she is determined.
So the Athro is he's he's sitting on the porch swing at the house, and you notice that he's reading a book. But it looks like a textbook. It appears to be on uh basically like uh psychology and the modern world, especially with a focus on the paradox of progress.
Patrick will be walking by with what looks like, well, if anybody knew guns, it looked like a giant barrel on his shoulder that he's carrying. You'll see Caroline nod and head over in their direction.
Caroline will kind of bow forward, approaching the Shadow Lord, and she'll say, "If I may speak, I was told to come to you for some questions."
To ask them or to receive them.
To ask some questions.
Thank you. He'll close the book and set it down. He looks as though he's willing to give her some of his time.
Well, as you may have heard, there is the carcass of the Thunderworm over there. I can't think of where it's located.
He'll give her a nod.
Well, we seems to have discovered the mother. And, well, what I was questioning was on how to combat such a creature, on tips on strategy.
What have you devised of your own thinking so far?
Of my own thinking, I have thought that perhaps we can gather the strength, which others have already been doing, and they are preparing blast talents. But what I have thought was perhaps if this creature was, since it is a worm creature, perhaps it could be affected by spirit gifts. And by binding it.
Though thunderworms are of the worm, they are not in and of themselves spirits. They are bygones. And creatures twisted by the worm's power and given great strength.
Well, I
It'd be a bit
suppose
like trying to bind a nexus crawler.
yes, that would not work.
Mm-mm.
Well, Here's my other question then. Do you happen to know a way to bind such a creature?
Do you really think, with the sort of creature it is, that that's the best way to go about fighting it?
I think I have an idea.
What I want you to do, both of you, is to think of what would lean in to its behavior, lean into its habits and ways. There is actually a very, very simple way to destroy a thunderworm, and no one ever thinks of it.
Bait it into a trap. It travels under the ground. Well, if it travels under the ground, then perhaps you could bait it to be trapped in both the Umbra and both the Tolarian.
You're a nod. Remember that lesson, as simple as it is, going forward. You always need to lean into your enemy's weaknesses. If you find your strength there, it can make you nigh unstoppable.
Caroline will nod, and then she'll then pose this question. She'll say, "Now, how would one bait a thunderworm?"
What do you think?
I suppose it could be ourselves to bait it, but there's still room for leeway on that. What I was thinking was a definite way to bait such a creature.
He thinks for a moment. Thunderworms are drawn to the blood of the worm. They're drawn to consume what the mortals call radiation. Very dangerous, though. Radiation is destruction and chaos given form, a marriage of the wild and the worm. That's the simplest way to bait a thunderworm, is to expose radiation. But then you run the risk of contaminating anything that would come across it. Other things that draw thunderworms, strong beacons of innocence, purer than one could say even yourself, although I do not doubt your purity. Depravity can draw them, although I highly doubt you want to draw it by engaging in depraved actions. Something that'll get its attention.
Purity.
Each of those baits come with their own risk. If you use the worm's blood, you run the risk of contaminating the area and yourselves. If you use purity, you run the risk of the thing that you are using that is pure being tainted. If you use depravity, you'll taint yourself.
Then I know a way that I could combat such a creature. Find a way to purify myself so that I might be the bait. That way no one else is harmed by my own decisions.
It's not. It's brave. And mad. And could work. But nothing is promised. Now the question lies in what you are going to do once you bait it to destroy it.
Yes.
Patrick's just listening and watching quietly at the moment.
To stun it. Perhaps at the moment it emerges, that's when they should strike with the blast talons.
I will be sure to sing the tales of your demise loudest at the moot. And he leaves it at that.
Caroline will nod. And then she'll
And
say,
then he doesn't like that idea.
yeah, like, I get that. She'll nod, and then she'll say, then another way to stun such a creature.
I want you to look inside, Caroline. Think of where one is most vulnerable.
During sleep, one is the most vulnerable. So if we could bring it to slumber. Perhaps we could find its resting place.
Thunderworms do not rest.
Patrick raises a hand.
Oh, not his head of them.
We ourselves have a degree of vulnerability to certain materials. Do these things have a vulnerability to anything?
Mm-hmm. He nods.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
He nods.
Might we ask what they are vulnerable to?
I already told you.
Sorry?
He says, I already told you.
Yes, it is vulnerable by what it is tracking. That is its weakness.
He'll tilt his head at her. Lindsay, would you say an Enigma's role is fair?
What is she wanting to know?
No, it's that he told her what they're vulnerable to, but he put it enigmatically.
Oh, yeah, she can make a... What's Enigmas?
Okay.
Whatever
Regular.
you decide the difficulty is.
Okay.
I would say it would probably be about a 7. Would you say that's fair, Lindsay?
Yeah. Seven's good.
I told you what it is. You saw it. You saw what it is.
You know what? I'm not gonna burn a willpower. I believe myself.
Believe in yourself.
2
Go
successes.
tomorrow. He mentioned battling from within. What he was probably saying is that they're weak from the inside. That if you want to harm them, you need to find a way to get into their soft bellies.
Caroline then frowns, and then she'll say, "The way to truly kill the creature is to be eaten and kill it by stabbing its heart."
His jaw slightly drops, and he tilts his head like, well, that's one way to take it. Okay. He'll nod at her and say, if that's how you wish to be told about you.
Yeah, Patrick is face palming.
If you want to destroy a thunderworm, you could waste your time trying to chip away at its hide. Or you can focus on leaning into its constant state of consumption.
Throw the blast talons into its gullet.
You were a soft smile.
That would also require getting close to its mouth.
There is no part of a thunderworm that is safe. You are no more dangerous near its middle, near its head, near its mouth. At that point, it's just whether it was your day to die or not.
There is
Then
He kind of leans his arm over the barrel of the obscenely large barrel. Might be one way to punch a hole into it.
I have used thunderworms many times in combat. I'm familiar with their weaknesses. He just folds his hand in the lap.
well, then I will be the bait to draw it. Then we will combat it after we have found a way to block its path. And then, after that, we lob the blast talons into its gullet and fight.
A good place, a good terrain to fight them on is that like the desert? And be aware that if there is a thunderworm, especially one of great size or a broodmother, there could be spirals living in its belly. There's actually an entire hive inside of the belly of the greatest thunderworm. the grandma.
Well. Do you know a way that we might... As I said before, we could trap it, both in the Umbra and the Talarian, by creating a blockade. How would we create such a structure?
Thunderworms don't work like that. They are constantly boring through anything they come in the path of. If you tried to create a blockade, it would probably just bore its way right out.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I know that's probably not what you wanted to hear. This isn't the sort of fight where you stop the fight. It's a kinetic fight. You see, when I've been in battles before with Garu who are facing Thunderworm, one thing the Garus always made the mistake of was trying to stop the momentum. Trying to let's think about it for a moment, because he's trying to look at it from the other side now. The power of thunderworms is that they're like thunder. They're like lightning. They strike fast. They move, they're constantly moving, they never stay still. Trying to ensnare one is like trying to bottle lightning. You can't do it. And that is where a thunderworm can be deadly against Garu. Garu are unfortunately not good at kinetic fighting. They need to dig their heels in and find a ground. That's very often how agents of the worm and the spirals can make so much gain in fighting Garu. They lean into that advantage. The fact that Garu fight from a better perspective of a vantage point, stable vantage point. Unfortunately, if you try to ensnare something, especially like a thunderworm, and try to trap it, and you can't respond kinetically, then you're fighting weak. Not impossible, just not the optimal. It's not the optimal tactic. But if you ever want to try to trap one, they don't do well with water.
Water.
The problem is leading it to a source of water great enough to trap it, as it were, in that. Their bodies are made to bore through the earth, to tear through steel, limestone, granite, through the earth. Once they come in contact with water, the fluidity of it, the lack of something to ground themselves against, it weakens them.
Thin. There's another way we could go about this.
The concern at that point is contaminating any source of water that you bring it into.
We could ask spirits, or water spirits to be precise, to create a form of water in the Umbra where we might combat it. Not corrupting those spirits, asking them to shed their water to create a body to trap it.
I've got a possibly stupid idea that might not. Probably stupid idea.
And then why offer it?
So I don't know if it's stupid or not, but it sounds stupid. So it might be stupid.
I would recommend you keep it to yourself. Unless you'd like to amend what you said. I think the word that you're looking for is alternatively creative. So, tell us your alternatively creative idea.
It lies in the fire.
He listens.
Be a significant. The mortals are using would be using a significant amount of water source to combat the fire.
You have a computer there on your arm, right?
Yes.
Look up the name Salton Sea and see how far it is from here.
Sorry. Look up. That's all I got.
He said look up the Salton Sea and see how far it is from here.
Salton Sea?
Mm-hmm.
He'll look it up.
Here, I'll write it down for you in the thing. I don't know how far that thing is from San Diego. I think it's in California or Nevada.
1 second.
California, apparently.
It is approximately 118 miles from San Diego. Approximately the right direction.
Salton Sea might be a good place for you to lead this creature. The Salton Sea is already very tainted. It was considered the Riviera of the West in the height of its heyday, and beach resort communities popped up all around it. Then one day, the freshwater reserves coming into the lake, into the sea, stopped. The salt of the lake rose and rose and rose, and the acidity rose in base and moved where it was. And all of the fish began to die, and the town around it decayed. Now it is there used to be a hive there, but it was overthrown by, I think, Obtana. And the sea is very salty. And would probably be not only a good place to take the fight away from mortals, but if the area were to become contaminated, it wouldn't be as catastrophic.
Going about it, though, if we brought it to, say, not a sea, but a lake, if we had enough people to cleanse such taint, we could still be the same effect as well.
I think he's right in this. I think utilizing the already tainted water source rather than risking something closer that might not be tainted already, a better option.
Ah, my mistake. Well then, we should tell the others that I could still be the bait. I know it's a foolhardy idea, but I don't want to harm anybody.
Is this true? Is that really what you're thinking? This isn't some hero or martyr complex. Oh, look at her.
No, I just wish to protect others. In my heart, I feel if I do this, then others won't have to do that. When making a decision, one should be prepared for the consequences, and that I am sure of. But one making a decision on the behalf of others, that is something I cannot get behind. If there is a decision, it must be taken with one's own self.
He looks at her for a long minute, considering something. It's clear he's torn on something. Lindsay, check PMs in Facebook. Oh no. Yes. He'll nod. Do you have any other questions?
No, and thank you for your time.
He'll nod at her.
Patrick will offer a slight bow. Thank you.
He'll nod at him. Pick up his book. Open it back up.
And Caroline will head away.
Okay. Who is she going to go see now?
If Lindsay doesn't mind, she wants to talk to the Alpha to let him know what she just heard.
My advice, actually, would be to report back to the one leading the mission before you talk to the Alpha.
Oh, okay.
The one leading the mission is Josie's character, so
Okay.
do that first, please and thank you.
Patrick will walk with Caroline and say, not to mention the Sultan Sea is literally, and he's looking at a map on his arm, the middle of nowhere. and Henshaw or the other closer lake or water sources are far closer to public view, and yeah, and a lot smaller.
Well then, Caroline will smile as they're walking off. She'll say, well, that definitely will help. I suppose...
And he's still carrying the huge barrel, by the way.
I suppose this will take some time getting set up. I suppose I need to talk to Maurice about that question I had earlier, she says with a smile.
Look, I've got to come along with it. Oh, if you're wondering about this, by the way, show the barrel. This is still the biggest bloody gun I could come up with.
She's laughing.
This doesn't fire bullets. This fires shells.
Like seashells?
No, like the kind of shell. I'll show you sometime. Think bullets on the size of. He'll actually pull up a picture on the computer on his arm of a 20mm cannon shell.
Well, I suppose that could do quite some damage.
That's what I'm hoping.
I suppose we just need to prepare and hope.
Well, see, I'm thinking of taking that and turning it into or modifying it to do something like what old whalers used to use, of a harpoon.
I suppose that could work.
Yeah, maybe attach one of those blast talons into the nose of it, so when if it can penetrate, you can deliver the explosive right into the. Yeah.
By the way, while you're talking, all of a sudden Caroline is holding the boombox. You don't know how she managed to go grab it while you were talking, but she grabbed it.
Anime words.
I was told that I needed to play a song for Maurice when we go see him, so...
Yeah, I told you that.
Yes, that's why I'm talking to you about it. And they start heading to where Maurice is at.
Reese is normally at the house that's where Jesse and all of them live,
Okay.
and that is where he is today. They'll be directed there if you're looking for him.
Okay.
He's actually in the kitchen, cooking and meal prepping. There's a bunch of those meal prep containers with food, and he's kind of dumping brown rice and broccoli into them. And he'll smile and he'll kind of tilt his head. I don't think he's ever met Caroline before, has he?
Yeah, he has.
He has.
It was very brief.
Yeah. So he'll smile at her and Patrick when they come in. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
And what can I do for you today?
Well, I was told to ask you a question, so here I am. And then she presses the button for the song and sets it on a table.
He blinks and then smiles.
Yeah, Patrick gets his hand over his mouth, hiding a really big grin.
I think I've heard that song more times in this past month than I have in my 50 years of life.
I don't know why they told me to bring this song when I asked you, so I brought it.
Well, do. And he'll shake his head, but smiling. He's adding chicken to the containers.
Well,
Are
I
you hungry?
suppose. I'm sorry.
No, I was just wondering if you're hungry.
Oh, not at the moment. But I suppose I could eat a little.
No reason to force it on you if you're not hungry.
No, then she'll think and she'll be like, I don't believe I've eaten very much today, so I suppose I should.
He'll what he's making, he'll make them both a small plate of it. Like it's brown rice and like broccoli and some chicken. And they'll slide them over a plate each.
Patrick.
Caroline will.
Oh, sorry.
Caroline will smile and she'll say, "Thank you very much."
Of course.
Patrick will put the giant ass barrel down and
Don't put it on my counter. I just had it replaced.
he doesn't put it on the counter. He leans it up against like a load bearing wall so it doesn't do any damage.
Okay, well then I'll go ahead and just say it. They told me you have the answer for what the definition of this word is. The definition of polyamory. Might I know what that word means?
He'll tilt his head.
Yes, Patrick is
Blink.
laughing. Patrick is laughing.
I don't understand what is so funny.
Sweet summer child, you are so pure. You are like the rose who has just come into bloom, and everybody wants to touch your beautiful petals. That's why it's so funny. He'll just shake his head.
I cannot remember whose idea particularly it was, but it was either Jesse's or Liam's.
It's Jesse's. I don't even know, but I know it is. I'll just sigh and shake his head.
Yes, it was Jessie who asked me. She smiles, recalling that perfectly.
He and I have a love-hate relationship. We love to hate each other. He'll smile. It's a very simple answer to such a complicated question. Polyamory is a form of relationship anarchy. That's all.
Relationship anarchy?
Oui.
Oh, I suppose I can understand that. But who would want to do that? That sounds terrible.
Why does it sound so terrible?
Isn't anarchy to go against order? Then you're going against the order of a relationship, correct?
Yeah, what is wrong with that?
Then she kind of looks off in the distance and she's just like, I don't know. I suppose I don't have an answer to that.
Mon petit, a question. What is a relationship to you?
A relationship to me is... Well, there are many forms of the definition of the word relationship. It could be a life mate. It could be serving one's duty. It could be friendship. It could be many things.
And so, when you have friends, or maybe possibly children, or you have people you work with and fight beside, you have more than one, oui?
I suppose that is true.
So why do we believe you can only have one life mate? If you can understand and love your children, who should be closer than your art? I'll shrug.
Oh. Huh. Well, that Charles man told me different. He
There is
shouldn't have lied to me.
a-
Oh, it was just somebody I asked off the street.
I give her a frown, like meh.
I learned a lot of things from people on the street. That and that I have a very grabbable ass. I don't understand what that means, but
Like his nose wrinkles.
Yeah, Patrick's just shaking his head.
Do you know what consent is? We
yes, I do know what consent is.
please elaborate. I want to make sure you do.
If somebody touches me, I rip their tongue out. That's how I've been taught.
Okay, hold on. Hold a hand up. Wait. Oh my God.
I have to break their fingers if they touch me wrong,
No,
correct?
no, 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 no. Come, child. He hugs her. Like, oh Jesus God, why? I want you to listen to Uncle Maurice, okay? Consent is just whether you agree or disagree with contact being made with you. Whether you consent. And if you enjoy the touch of someone who is engaged with you, then you consent. If you do not enjoy it, you do not consent. And you say to them, no, please do not touch me. I need you to take a step back. I need to disengage with these. If they don't listen to you, then you rip their fingers off.
Oh.
Or broken
So,
glass, fine.
oh, I've broken many men's hands. I
Oh,
probably
no.
shouldn't have.
I mean, if you wanted them to grab your ass, then no, you should not have broken their hands, no.
Well, there was this one man who tried to kiss me. I shouldn't have punched him in the face?
Did you want him to kiss you?
I suppose not.
So there you go.
So I should have punched him in the face.
You
Interesting.
should. He'll walk up and he'll. Oh God forbid. He'll cup his hand on her jaw, and he'll give it a soft stroke. Like with as central as his gay ass can do it.
She's blinking, very confused.
And he'll lean in to give her a kiss.
She'll back out. Oh.
There. He
This is
demonstrated.
one
He's
of the
good.
moments of punching in the face, by the way. This is not one of the moments of punching in the face. This
Yeah,
is
he
not
said.
the moment of punching in the face. Patrick actually repeats that 3 times.
She says that, like, as he says that, like, she, like, pulls her fist down that was going towards punching him.
Now you see. You did not want me to kiss you. You back up. You say to me, you hold a hand up, you say to me, no. I do not want this contact. Something again, you don't have to say that, but let me know you do not want me to touch you.
Oh. Well, I don't want you to touch me.
He'll hold his hands up. Then I will not touch you. And he'll back off.
Thank you.
But if I had pressed on, then you defend yourself.
Ah, that's when I break your fingers.
If it comes to it, yes.
She'll nod.
Kind of like that. Shudder for a second. Like, I almost kissed the woman.
Yeah, Patrick is now doodling on a piece of paper. It looks like a really weird gun.
Fucking yeah. Yeah, he'll go back to plating this stuff. But that is how polyamory is. It's a form of relationship anarchy. I am polyamorous. I'm with the alpha. We are to be married. And I am with Liam O'Donovan. He is my boyfriend. And I think maybe I may begin seeing this kinfolk. I think that's as much as I want to be with right now.
Interesting.
And then there are some people who maybe have one or two partners. Some people have only one partner. And then some people don't see the number to their partners, like Jesse. Jesse, he or she, they will shrug.
So it is a form of preference.
Oui.
Thank you. That was very enlightening.
I'll nod at her.
I'm glad I didn't punch you in the face.
Hey, you know what? Why don't you try? I'll smile at her.
Why would I want to punch you?
Go ahead, try. He'll come back over.
She'll blink a little bit. And then I guess she'll, like, swing at him, but she's not swinging very hard.
Patrick is saying, bad idea, bad idea.
Lindsay, do you want me to roll for Quicksilver, or can you just swim the glamour, blah, 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 do all that shit?
No, you can. You two can just thematically play it.
Yeah, basically, as her hand reaches his face, he lightning fast, like faster than like he could have moved naturally, blocks her punch, basically wrapping his hand around her fist, and just smiles at her.
Intriguing.
When somebody invites you to punch them, it means that it really means they're, yeah.
Well, that's to say, I'm
take that invite.
I'll smile. Maybe I prefer punches over kisses. And he goes back around the bar.
Caroline will smile and she'll be like, well, then punches could be considered like hugs.
Oh, jeez.
If you really want to punch me, go ahead.
She'll smile very lightly and punch him lightly on the shoulder.
He'll smile at her. I just like that you look like my favorite animal. He squeezed a little.
She frowns and then she looks confused. A wolf? Or a
No,
unicorn?
A unicorn. I'm a gay man, baby. He Z-pops. I have a tattoo of a unicorn.
She smiles. Well, then I'm glad we can be friends.
You're my friend?
Yes, I believe I am your friend.
He squeezes, picks her up, and like kind of swings her around and puts her back down.
She's a little disoriented and she just smiles.
He skips back around the bar and starts putting the tops on all of them and then puts them in the like a fucking true chef. He like fucking masking tape, the fucking bullshit, labels when they were made and all that bullshit, and then throws them in the fucking freezer.
She smiles and then she'll say, well, I think I've had a long day. I'm gonna go rest.
I'll nod.
Okay.
You take care now.
You too. And you as well, Patrick.
Peace.
And thanks everybody for playing.